you guys, welcome to part 3 of my Genie Plus with a Toddler series. Today we are talking all about Hollywood studios and how to strategize your Genie Plus day with a toddler. Before we dive in, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button to join our internet fam here. I share all kinds of Disney planning tips as well as vlogs from our latest Disney trip, so I would love for you to stick around for all kinds of fun Disney content. And go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you've been enjoying this Genie Plus with a Toddler series. Today we are talking all about Hollywood studios and how this park specifically can actually be your least stressful Genie Plus day at Disney. So I'm really excited to share this strategy with you guys. Okay, I did want to start by mentioning that in my part 1 video for Magic Kingdom, I did a full overview of Genie Plus. I explained what it is, how it works, what lightning lanes are. So if you want to learn the basics before we dive into the strategy portion of this video, head over there and check out part 1 first, and then come back and dive into the strategy portion of this video. That way we can be on the same page with lingo and all that fun stuff. All right, so Hollywood Studios has the reputation of being probably the most stressful park to use Genie Plus at because there are so many heavy hitter attractions. You've got Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, Slinky Dog Dash, Toy Story Midway Mania, you've got Smuggler's Run, and then of course the individual lightning lane attraction at this park is Rise of the Resistance, which is one of the most popular rides at Disney right now. So you've got some big name attractions at Hollywood, and it can make Genie Plus feel a little more stressful because all of these popular rides are going so quick and you want to do all of them, but it's just not possible, and so then it ends up feeling really stressful. But here's the thing. When you are thinking about Genie Plus at Hollywood Studios with a toddler, you're not necessarily prioritizing all of those big name attractions unless you're utilizing Rider Swap. And I did touch on Rider Swap in my part 2 video for Epcot. So head over to that video and check that out if you want to learn more about Rider Swap and how to utilize it and what it is. So unless you are using Rider Swap for a ride that you really have your heart set on, I mean, the rides that you're doing with a toddler are some of the more less popular attractions. So while everyone else in the park is racing to get on Smuggler's Run, Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror, with a toddler, you're looking at some of the shows, character meet and greets, and then a couple of the smaller attractions. So it really makes your day feel way easier because what you're able to get lightning lane wise is just way simpler. So I'm really excited to share this strategy with you guys. All right, diving in, I'm gonna take you hour by hour. If I could have my dream Genie Plus with a toddler day, this is exactly what I would do and what I would book and how I would go about booking it. So like I've shared in my other strategies for the other parks, I always start by purchasing Genie Plus around 6:45 in the morning. That way I have a few extra minutes to get the app ready to go. You know, I kind of have a clear mind of what I'm going for. So Genie Plus is purchased and ready to go at 6:45. And right at 7 a.m., I'm gonna be ready to book Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So that's gonna be one of the more popular attractions at Hollywood Studios that you can do with a toddler. So that's gonna be the first one I'm gonna go for because that is one that's gonna fill up pretty quick. So I'm gonna do that first thing in the morning. That way we can have that booked and I don't even have to think about it the rest of the day. And for this strategy specifically, I'm gonna skip Rise of the Resistance this time, but if that was something I was gonna do, that is the individual lightning lane attraction for this park. So if I'm staying on property, I have access to book that right at 7 a.m. along with my normal lightning lane selection. So if I was gonna book that, I would book that right at 7 a.m. along with that first lightning lane selection. But for this strategy, I'm gonna skip it this time, but I did wanna mention that if that is something you wanna factor into your day, I would be ready to go right at 7 a.m. to book that first thing in the morning. That way you have your time slot secured and you're good to go. So it's 7 a.m. and I was able to book my very first lightning lane selection at Mickey and Minnie's. And let's say I was able to get it for 9:15 a.m. and the park opens at 9 a.m. with an early entry at 8:30 a.m. So if you're staying on property, I'm gonna head to the park around 8:30, and that way I have a 30-minute window to basically do anything that I don't want to use a lightning lane for. So I'm gonna try to get to the park by 8 a.m. That way I have plenty of time to get scanned in, maybe stop and get a coffee. And I talked about this on our Magic Kingdom Day strategy as well, but this gives you plenty of time to get into the park. Like I mentioned, get a coffee, get some really cute pictures before the park is overly crowded, and you can just leisurely make your way to wherever you're wanting to go first, and you're not in a rush. And it's just nice to have a little bit of extra time, especially with little ones, in case you need a diaper change, or you know, there's always the unexpected. So, 8 a.m. we're at the park ready to go. And by 8:30, I'm gonna head back to Toy Story Land and get in line for Toy Story Midway Mania. This is one that is gonna be a total walk-on right at 8:30. So that's why I'm not gonna even worry about making a lightning lane for it. And this is one that you can do with your toddler. So let's assume we were able to get on and off that ride pretty quick. We were on at 8:30 and off by 8:45. So we still have 15 minutes until the park officially opens. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go get in line for one of the character meet and greets. So either meeting Minnie Mouse or meeting Olaf. So what I'm gonna do is get in line first thing in the morning. That way we're not having to do a standby wait time later on in the day. So at 8:45, I'm gonna go get in line for Minnie Mouse. And she officially opens at 9 a.m. when the park opens. So we waited 15 minutes and we were able to meet Minnie just a few minutes after 9 a.m. And this is a great strategy for both of those character meet and greets, Minnie and Olaf, because you don't have access to a lightning lane option, and it helps you avoid the standby wait time if you're able to get in line first thing in the morning. So that's gonna be my go-to with either one of those characters, and I'm just gonna pick Minnie because my toddler is completely obsessed with Minnie Mouse. So now it's 9:15 and it's time to head over to our first lightning lane at Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So right when I scan in to Mickey and Minnie's, I'm able to make my very next selection. So I've mentioned this in my other strategy videos as well, but I'm not even gonna wait until I get off the ride to think about what my next lightning lane is gonna be. As soon as I scan in, I can now make my next selection. So that's the rule. You either scan in or 120 minutes has to pass from the time you book your lightning lane. Whichever comes first. In this case, we scanned in and that came first. So my next lightning lane selection is gonna be for the 10:35 show at the Disney Junior Dance Party. Now, people are gonna tell you, don't waste a lightning lane on a show. There are way better things to use a lightning lane on. Why use it on a show? You're all in the same seated area anyway, and you know, you have to get in line 15 minutes before the show starts, just like everybody else. So, you know, what's the point? But here's my reasoning with using lightning lanes on shows, specifically at Hollywood Studios. So yes, you're still in the same viewing area as everyone else. You'll still want to arrive early to wait for the next show to start. But the benefit of having a lightning lane for a show like the Disney Junior Dance Party is that you do have a slightly better view. So instead of risking being off in the very back corner where your toddler can barely see what's going on the stage, you do have a reserved viewing area of the show. So that's a nice way where you can guarantee a pretty good spot as compared to the regular standby line. You may end up in the very front row or you may end up in the very back. There's just no way to know, but at least with booking a lightning lane, you have a reserved area that's dedicated for anyone with a lightning lane. So that's why I don't think using a lightning lane on a show like the Disney Junior Dance Party is a total waste. Would I use a lightning lane on every single show that Hollywood Studios offers? Probably not. Thinking about the Indiana Jones stunt show, I've seen the lightning lane viewing area, you know, for that show, and it's good. I mean, we got just as good of a seat the last time we were there without using lightning lane. Same thing for Beauty and the Beast. I may not use a lightning lane on shows like that, but for something like the Disney Junior Dance Party, where your toddler is definitely gonna wanna see what's going on the stage, and they're gonna wanna interact, and they're gonna be really excited about this, I personally would recommend using a lightning lane on this show and the Frozen Sing-Along Celebration, which we will talk about here in a minute. But those are probably the two that I would use a lightning lane on, and I don't think it's a waste because, again, your toddler is going to be really engaged and they're going to be really excited about these shows specifically. So that's why I recommend a lightning lane with a couple of the shows at least. Okay, back to our strategy timeline. So 10:35 is our next lightning lane. We can scan in 15 minutes prior to the show at 10:20. So from 9, what time did we leave Minnie and Mickey? So I'm having to rewind now. So 9:15 was our last lightning lane. Let's say we were on and off that ride by 9:30, 9:45. So now we still have about 30 to 45 minutes until our next lightning lane at the Disney Junior Dance Party. So this is a perfect time for a bathroom break, for a snack, a coffee, head to the baby care center. I always like to factor in a good break kind of mid-morning after we've been there for an hour or two. We've done a few attractions now. We did Toy Story Midway Mania, we went and met Minnie Mouse, and we did Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So we've already done a few things, so this is a perfect time for a break before we head to the dance party. So at 10:20, we're able to scan into the Disney Junior Dance Party, and at this point, I could make my next lightning lane selection, but I also know that we're gonna head to lunch and then head back to the room for nap time, so I'm not really in a hurry at this point to keep making more lightning lanes. And if you've seen my other strategy videos, this is kind of what I've been doing at each park is, you know, it's a go, go, go morning, and then you break for lunch, and then you have nap time back in the room, and then you kind of pick it up later on in the evening and you start stacking lightning lanes. So at 11 a.m., we are exiting the Disney Junior Dance Party. We had a great view with our lightning lane reserved seating, and now we're gonna head to an early lunch at 11:15. That way by 12:30, we can head back to our resort for nap time. And again, I've shared this in my other strategy videos, but nap time back at the room works well for us. I know a lot of toddlers can nap on the go, nap in their stroller, or they're not napping at all. So if you wanted to continue making more lightning lanes, you absolutely could through the afternoon, but we like to head back to our resort for a break, and I like having a break as well. And most of the time at Disney, you are getting scorched from the heat anyway, and so having that midday break is crucial for everyone to stay happy and hydrated and well rested, and a happy toddler is going to make the rest of our day so much better for everyone involved. That is what the rest of our afternoon looks like, and while we're back at the room during nap time, I'm just going to be casually scrolling, seeing what lightning lanes are available and what looks good for the rest of our afternoon. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be in a rush to, you know, make anything, but I'm just going to scroll and keep refreshing and just see what pops up. But let's say my husband and I really want to do Rock and Roller Coaster, so we see a lightning lane pop up for 3:30, and that's going to work out great with the timing of us getting back into the park, and we can do rider swap. So we make that next lightning lane for 3:30. 3:30 rolls around, we are back in the park, and whether or not we have scanned in or not, I could actually go ahead and make my next lightning lane selection because 120 minutes has passed. So even if we aren't able to get to that lightning lane until 3:45, even though our set time is from 3:30 to 4:30, you get that hour window, we could still make our next selection right at 3:30 again, because that 120 minutes has passed and that came first before us scanning in. So either way, we can make our next one, and I'm gonna go for the Frozen Sing-Along Celebration at 4:30, and we're able to scan in and get in line at 4:05. So my husband and I do rider swap for Rock and Roller Coaster, and we're ready to go for the Frozen Sing-Along Celebration. So let's say we head over to get in line at 4:15. The show starts at 4:30 and it's over by 5 p.m. And at 4:15, when we scan in, we can now make our next lightning lane selection. So at this point, I'm gonna go for Alien Swirling Saucer. This one is gonna be a little bit of a gamble with my toddler. I have no idea how she would do on a ride like this, but she is tall enough to ride it now. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for it and just see how she does. So let's say we were able to make that for 7 p.m. And that's gonna be perfect timing because we will exit the Frozen Sing-Along Celebration show at 5 p.m. and we do dinner usually between 5 and 5:30. So let's say we had a dining reservation for 5:15. And that leaves us more than enough time to enjoy dinner, take our time getting over to our next lightning lane at Alien Swirling Saucers, and we could actually make that next lightning lane at 6:15 because 120 minutes is gonna pass before 7 o'clock rolls around. But I think at this point, we're good. I feel really happy about our day. We were able to do everything we wanted to do, and there's really not much left unless my husband and I wanted to do rider swap with one more ride, but you know, I think we're good. But after we're done on Alien Swirling Saucers, the only other thing that I would factor in after that attraction is the Lightning McQueen Racing Academy. Our toddler is really into cars, and I think that's something that she would really enjoy, and that's not something you need a lightning lane for. So it's just a cute little 10 to 15 minute show. And then I think that might be it. We might stop and get a drink or dessert or, you know, do something fun to kind of cap the night. Or we could stay even later and stick around for the Fantasmic show. So at the time of filming this, that show has not returned yet. So don't get too excited yet if you're headed back in the next few weeks, but it is coming very soon. So be on the lookout for Fantasmic. That's gonna be such an exciting day when we can head back to that amphitheater. I'm so excited. It's one of my favorites. I love it. I'm so excited to see it again. But until then, it'll probably be early nights at Hollywood Studios just because we were able to accomplish everything we wanted to do, and we can head back to the resort around 8 o'clock and call it a kind of early night. I don't know. Normally we're out, you know, past fireworks. So anything before 9 o'clock is early at Disney, at least in my opinion. So that is how I would strategize a Genie Plus day with a toddler at Hollywood Studios. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would love for you to head over and check out my other Genie Plus strategy videos in this series. I'll have those linked down below in the description box. And again, make sure that you are subscribed if you're not already, and go ahead and give this video a thumbs up as well. It really helps to support the channel. So thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.